He gave me this.
I gave you
can
the
you
other.
believe this?
I gave her the other.
Antonio كتب speaking woman وجه الله بالثلاث.
Wow, nice. Arrive.
Let's go eat greasy food at
Oh. What's her name?
Luna.
Luna?
Van Luna Drop.
Okay.
Really good fishing and it's bad at making food. Then
Okay, castle is under construction, I feel.
Which way?
Cool.
there's a mess, but you don't mind. You just laugh, let it fall where it lies. Coffee's cold, but we take a sip, talk about nothing. Let the morning slip. Oh, it feels like that, like summer air through window cracks. Oh, it feels like that, like summer sun on quiet tracks. Oh, it feels like that, like the summer rain that falls so slowly on the naked skin upon your back. Oh, it feels like that, like a love song on a worn out track. Yeah, it feels like that,
Yeah. Without walking.
feels like that. Yeah, it feels like that. Na 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 na. Feels like that. Oh, it feels like that, like summer air through window cracks. Oh, it feels like that, like the summer sun on quiet tracks. Oh, it feels like that, like the summer rain that falls so slowly on the naked skin upon your back. Oh, it feels like that, like a love song on a worn out track. Yeah, it feels like that. Feels like that. Yeah, it feels like that. Na 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 na. Feels like that. Feels like that. Yeah, it feels like that. Na 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 na. Feels like that.
But before we get started, it is the British way. We can't have any fun. Miney Grange would be proud of and say the word Rossio Loomis. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Rossio Loomis. So I think it's quite fair that you can't get everything just from your imagination. When you hash out things like, how involved should it be? How do you feel if I change this a little bit? You know who you belong to. Give some of you a bit ambiguous.
Così chique.
Secrets we tell each other, we come out more than a time. Safe on deaf ears that quiet times alone, while we rehearse them in the mirror, waiting for time to be right. When we know the strength inside will match the strength we show, but it's hard enough to face the face who's always staring back. There's nothing to be ashamed of. We're just being what we're made of, and it comes out in the quiet, between the times we speak, between the times we think we know we're right, between the times we constantly checking it. What we're about to say it, really what it's worth. Is it our 2 cents, or is it nonsense? All these things that we unearth, but they come from inside us. We can no longer hide us, bursting at our seams, 'cause our dreams they divide. There's nothing to be.
I really like it. It's cool.
And the rivers flow like the world has told them not to stop. Stand my ground. Hear the sounds. Take a breath. Just let go. The leaves fall slower than they have ever done before, and the flowers bloom in the sun.